Okay, so I've read many of your comments regarding my video blog here. Colin Cowherd thinks Dominican Major League Baseball players aren't bright, which is a racist comment, and he put it in a way that was out and out racist. Okay, it just was, and you keep saying, "Well, you're taking it out of context and you're mischaracterizing it." I'm not taking what Colin said out of context at all. Okay, what Colin said was just completely ridiculous, reprehensible, downright stupid, and outright dumb. There's no two ways about it. He had no business saying that. You want a replay? Want me to replay it for you a little bit here, and so that you get an idea of what went down here with this guy blurted out. If that's what you want me to do. I mean, look, the his his choice of words, it was stupid. I mean, if you take a look at what he said, okay, and how he said it, and that, I mean, he said he didn't intend to offend anyone, but it did. It's the mindset. I mean, I was watching him saying it, and I was thinking that, look, okay, um, um, he's not going to actually say that, is he? And he did. He did say it. He did say it. Just play it out. He did say it. Look at this. Now you've got to see this. What I'm doing right now is just saying, what are you doing, Zenny? I am actually looking for the the place where he actually said that, where he actually said it, and I found it. Okay, hold on a second. I found it right here. It's where Jose Batista called out Colin Cowherd over his comments. Now, here is that part where he says it, and I'm going to play it for you. It's only a few seconds, but even those few seconds, all right, I'm going to start this, all right, enlarge this a bit, there, and then I'll freeze it right here, and watch it on youtube.com, then I'll expand it, right here. Now, here, listen, okay, he's allowing that, okay, right now, here. Now listen to this. Now I'm gonna like freeze it there, and then come back here. Then I come back here, okay, right about there.
Is from the Dominican Republic.
Here. Okay, wait a minute. Listen, let's try that again.
Possible. The game is too complex. Like, I've never bought into that baseball's just too complex. Really? A third of the sport is from the Dominican Republic.
Okay. I mean, that cognitive leap was just wild. I mean, he's talking about, on the one hand, general manager, and then the complexity of the game, and then he jumps into what can't be.
Like Bill Simmons.
Listen to
I mean,
this.
He's slightly altering his format.
Can't.
He's not becoming a brain surgeon.
He's talking. See, he starts off talking about something having nothing to do with the Dominican Republic, and he continues.
You know, he's not. It's not the difference between writing, producing, TV, and radio. I mean, I've proven it by writing a book.
He's talking about Bill Simmons. Okay, Bill Simmons.
I'm not a
Excuse me.
writer.
All right.
Okay, so you're just altering things a little. It's still communication.
And he's talking about Bill Simmons' new assignment with HBO regarding baseball. So the simple fact that he would be talking about Bill Simmons and then make this cognitive leap to talk about baseball not being complex and using Dominican players as proof, that's racist. Sorry, it just is racist. And Deadspin, as I understand it, has a compilation of other comments that Colin Cowherd has made, along these lines. Now, on my video, some of you have said, well, you've said a number of things, okay? First of all, because I love reading these, and I do read them, folks. I do read them. Thank you, Stephen Perez, right here, who says, I'm glad to hear someone support us for once in this case, but his whiteness has nothing to do with his ignorance, Just like the guy from the 49ers, Haley, ignorance is not exclusive to race. You're right about that. Absolutely correct. And however, the reason why I say this is because it wasn't just race. I said specifically white males in sports who get these positions. Now, does that mean black males in sports have not been guilty of such mistakes as well? No. Well, with a catch. It's not the same because of our mindset. The difference was the fellow who was also on ESPN who got after Robert Griffin, remember, for not being black enough. That was equally reprehensible. It's like, come on, give me a break. But it was different. It was different. There was a constant pattern here. And you can't take out the white maleness of a person and say that's got nothing to do with how they look at sports or cover the news or the media. Just as obviously my being black and male has something to do with how I see sports and the media and what goes on around me. The harsh reality of all of this is our backgrounds and our color impact how we look at media and how we look at people who play the game of sports. For better or worse, you can positively think about race and mention it. That's being race conscious still. You can't hide it. You can say, I'm not going to mention it, but it's going to come out some kind of way when you think it's not. Case in point, Mr. Cowherd. Just saying. Just saying. Now, something else he says. He agrees it's not racist, but he says it's the true count of the Dominican Republic is not afforded the same education as many countries around the world. Race has nothing to do with it. Well, yeah, actually it does, because in our history, people of color have been denied education. In our world, there are sadly two types of people. Some people impose on each other, and others allow themselves to be imposed upon because they don't know what to do. They're not wired to want to impose back in that way. Where you get equals are, where that doesn't happen. But if you look throughout history, it's either someone conquering the other person, or the other person being conquered, or the other person overcoming being conquered in some kind of way. That's the harsh, baser reality of things. And there are people who felt that folks of color had to be enslaved, and they used tools to do so and violate them and violated their trust. Many times they did this with the cooperation of other people of color. And so it's not just that a person of Dominican descent has a poor education because they're Dominican, but even then, if you think that, that's still being racist. Okay? That's still being racist. That's still being racist. And why make that observation anyway? I mean, come on. Who said this again? Wesley Kennesaw? That's still being racist. You're basically saying, it's okay for him to pick at Dominicans because their education levels aren't so great. I mean, come on, man. How do you know that? Right? Give me a break. And then, let's see. Then Sue and Wilson said, so I have a question. If Colin had talked more in general as opposed to specifically saying Dominicans instead of saying third world countries or something else, no, that doesn't make it any better. Because it's like the same church, but same church, different pew. That's what we're talking about here. So the bottom line is, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't. Sorry. There you go.